Hello everyone, Mary is here. Today I am going to explain about salivary secretion. The contents of this topic are salivary glands, salivary secretion, functions of saliva, mechanism of secretion and control of secretion. Now let us see salivary glands. The different types of salivary glands are parotid, sublingual and submandibular salivary glands. Now let us see some of the major differences between these glands. Parotid gland. It is a serous gland and the secretions of this gland are rich in water and electrolytes and it lacks mucin. It opens into the duct of Stenson's at the level of upper second molar tooth. Sublingual salivary gland is situated below the tongue in the floor of mouth. It opens into mouth directly through duct of Rivenus. These glands secrete thick viscous saliva. Whereas the submandibular salivary gland is situated below the ramus of the mandible and opens into oral cavity through the duct of Wharton. It is a mixed salivary gland, hence secretes both mucus and serous secretions. Now let us see the histology of salivary glands. The basic unit of salivary gland is salivon. It consists of three major structures: acinius, intercalated ducts and striated ducts. Now let us see acinius. What is acinius? It is a sac-like structure containing many pyramidal cells. These pyramidal cells are of two types: serous cells and mucus cells. These serous cells contain endoplasmic reticulum and zymogen granules. These zymogen granules are the reason for secretion of digestive enzymes. As you can see in the image, it is a serous acini containing secretory granules or zymogen granules and large amount of rough endoplasmic reticulum. Mucus glands. It contains mucin droplets and secretes mucin. Intercalated ducts and striated ducts. These are lined by cuboidal cells and the function of these ducts is to modify the ionic composition of the secretions from the acinius. Salivary secretion. The rate of salivary secretion is 1.5 liters per day and the composition includes 99.5% of water and 0.5% of solids. The solids consist of organic as well as inorganic solids. The organic solids present in the saliva are enzymes, which includes ptyalin, which is required for breakdown of starch into maltose and dextrin; lysozyme, which is an antibacterial agent and prevents the entry of bacteria; carbonic anhydrase, which helps in interconversion of carbon dioxide and carbonic acid; and lingual lipase, which helps in lipolysis of dietary fats; and other solids like kallikrein and immunoglobulins. The inorganic salts includes electrolytes. The major cations present in the saliva are sodium, calcium, potassium and magnesium, whereas the anions are chlorine and bicarbonate. The tonicity of saliva is hypotonic to plasma and its pH is almost equal to 8, hence it is alkaline. The major important thing to remember about saliva is the potassium concentration in saliva is always greater than that in the plasma. Now let us see the functions of saliva. The functions of saliva are digestion and taste, protection from infections, mixing, lubrication and bolus formation, protection, absorption and buffering action. Mechanisms of secretion. It includes secretion in acinius of glands, secretion in ducts. The two important stages are secretion in acinius and secretion in ducts. The secretion in acinius is known as primary secretion. In the primary secretion, amylase concentration is high and it is released by exocytosis of zymogen granules on stimulation. The electrolyte concentration in this are sodium, potassium, bicarbonate and chloride, and it is isotonic to plasma because it has all the electrolytes present in the plasma in equal volume. Whereas the secretion in the duct is known as final or modified secretion. It is formed when primary secretion passes through the ducts. The electrolytic composition changes as it passes through the ducts, therefore sodium and chlorine is removed whereas potassium and bicarbonate is added. The volume is same as that of primary secretion, but it becomes hypotonic when compared to plasma because of removal of sodium and chloride. As you can see here, the acinar cells secretes potassium, sodium, chloride, bicarbonate and enzymes into the lumen results in formation of primary secretion. As this primary secretion passes through the ducts, sodium and chloride are removed, whereas potassium and bicarbonate are added. It results in higher concentration of bicarbonate and potassium, which is known as final or modified secretion. Now let us see the control of secretion by neural mechanism. Salivary secretion is controlled only by neural mechanism. The neural regulation includes both sympathetic as well as parasympathetic stimuli. Sympathetic stimulation causes vasoconstriction, which decreases salivary secretion and makes the secretion thick and viscous. This is the reason why during sympathetic stimulation our mouth turns dry. Whereas in parasympathetic stimulation, it causes vasodilation, hence increasing salivary secretion, which is rich in enzymes and mucin. In reflex secretion, there are two mechanisms. These are unconditioned reflex and conditioned reflex. In unconditioned reflex, saliva is secreted when food comes in contact with the oral cavity. As unconditioned reflex is present since birth, it does not need learning. Whereas in conditioned reflex, saliva is secreted due to smell or thought of the food. This reflex is learned by social or environmental factors. Like while seeing something we like, our mouth starts to secrete more amount of saliva. It is a kind of conditioned reflex. Now, higher centers and tactile and taste stimuli causes stimulation of superior and inferior salivatory nuclei, which in turn causes stimulation of salivary glands, which results in secretion or inhibition of saliva. One of the important applied physiology of salivary secretion is xerostomia. It is a condition with decreased salivary secretion causing dryness of mouth and oral infections. The common cause for xerostomia is acute stressful conditions, which causes increased sympathetic stimulation. Usually, when there is increased sympathetic stimulation, it causes vasoconstriction, resulting in dryness of mouth. When this continues for a very long time, it results in oral infections. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for further notifications. If you have any questions, you can find me at askme.@gmail.com, or you can comment down in the section below. I'm signing off. See you in the next video.